We are here with Alias, Smith, and Owens, and they're going to be discussing their new CD, Rangers and Rebels. And tell us a little bit about how the CD became.
Oh, we had some great songs on here, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
This is a really great CD, recorded at Johnson Brothers with John Johnson. And my daughter Destiny took some of these pictures down to Old Car City in white. So we had some, it looks really good, doesn't it, inside and out. So let's talk about Ranger Brotherhood.
Okay.
How we started it.
It was inspired by, we wanted to come up with SAS, Single Action Shooting Society names, my wife and I. So we came up with Polly and Augustus Owens, right?
No.
And you wrote a story.
I came up with Polly and Augustus because it came.
You came up with the names.
Yeah. And when we looked it up online, they were actually, Augustus was actually a real person, and I didn't even know that when I was writing. Now, I've been a member of SAS for probably 10, 15 years, and you choose an alias when you shoot. So that's what the other name is for, your alias name. And Randy and his wife wanted their own story about their SAS names. So I gave them a character, gave them a name, and you know what? It almost came out almost true, didn't it?
Yeah. It turns out there's I have some ancestors that with the same names.
So we decided they loved the story so much that they wanted their own personal song. Well, actually, your wife wanted her own personal book too.
Yeah, she wants to write a book.
Yeah. So we decided to give them a song. We did this at the Cartersville Songwriters Exchange writing session.
Writing meetings,
And we came up with Ranger Brotherhood. So that's the story behind that. 6 Feet Down. I know where I got that from. I was reading a book to my grandson when I came up with the 6 Feet Down, and it was a story about just a spooky Halloween book when I was reading that, and I got that idea for 6 Feet Down. Next one is pawn shops and liquor stores. Now that's a story.
That's a true story.
That is a true story.
Because Cindy's afraid to go in a pawn shop or a liquor store.
I am. I don't know. It's like another life, another past life that I do not go into pawn shops and liquor stores. I've got that fear, like something bad happened in there. So I decided, my son-in-law, I wanted him to go to the pawn shop for me and buy me some DVDs that were on sale for like $1 or $2. And he said, I'm not going to go. You go yourself. And I said, I'm afraid to go to pawn shops and liquor stores.
And she said, after that, stop by the liquor store for me. And
Maybe.
a song was born.
So I did what any other songwriter would do. I went downstairs and I wrote the reason why I'm afraid of pawn shops and liquor stores. Although I didn't know it was going to turn out like this. But it's pretty true, I guess. But I don't know anybody that killed anybody in a pawn shop or liquor store.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Leavin Touch.
Leaving Dodge. That was a melody and a tune that I had. And then what happened?
It was one of Randy's
70s
songs, and we were looking for material.
A lot of people blocked the 70s out.
I don't remember the words that you had for this, but Leavin', it was something. But we kind of rewrote the words to Randy's music to make it more of a cowboy song than a 70s song, remember?
I remember you said, title it Leaving some western
right.
town, not Dodge. And so I went through, I looked up every
we
town
one
in the
syllable.
West, and the only one with one syllable is Dodge.
So we just kind of ran with it.
Yeah.
Okay, next is Wild Wyoming Wind, which when we started singing together, we needed a duet to sing together. And we had nothing original, and I never sang with anyone before, so I had to come up with something that I thought that we could do as a cowboy duet. So I wrote a Wild Wyoming Wind, and it became our first single and our first song.
Prettiest melodies.
Yes, and next is Till I Learn.
Till I Learn was a song of mine that I'm not going to tell you what it was, what the words were, but it changed words many times, and I love the melody, I love the harmony in the chorus. So finally I gave it to Cindy and said, write cowboy lyrics to this, and she did.
I was thinking of Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
When we came up with Till I Learn. Cowboy songs of yesterday.
That was my attempt at Western swing. Although it didn't really turn out as a Western swing song, but that was the...
He handed me a CD and said, "Here's some music I wrote."
I wrote the entire song except for the words. I hummed the melody. I even hummed all the parts and put all the instruments on there. And I liked what I had, but I just didn't know where to take the lyrics. So I gave it to her, and she wrote the lyrics.
I listened to the words. I listened to the music in my car for several days, and I had the horse part in my head, and it turned out really good, didn't it? That's one of my favorite songs on here.
If the horses could have, they would have
Yeah.
sang along. I
Yeah,
remember
if the
telling you
horses
that.
could have, they would have sang along. That was
And it
stuck
kind of
in my
shook my
head.
confidence a little to start with.
That was.
But when you
it's a
hear it in
great-
context of the whole song, it works.
Next is the hanging prayer. Now the hanging prayer, I was doing some research for something else that I was writing at the time, and I came across a story about a man that was hung in Arizona, and he was innocently hung. I mean, he did kill someone, but it was an accident, and there was such a thing back then. You're looking at me like, mm-hmm. But he was hung before anyone even knew it, kind of like a vigilante type of thing, and I kind of felt sorry for him. And his name was John Barry, just like I used in the song, and I wanted it very haunting. I wanted that music so that you know when you hear the music, you know it's about death and dying. And that's how that one came about.
That's one of my favorites, the Hanging
Oh.
Prayer.
It's one of my favorites too. You know, it's a very powerful song. Very, very powerful song. Cowboy's Job is Never Done.
I don't remember.
We needed another duet, and that's kind of like what it was. We needed another duet that we
I don't
could sing
remember
back
where-
and forth.
I really don't remember where the idea for that came from.
It was something that, because we wanted to do an answer song back and forth
Yeah.
with each other, and that's how we came up with that one. Okay, well, since you don't remember, we'll just go on to the next, okay?
Okay.
And the next one is Lonesome Cowboy.
That was my first attempt at a Western song. I co-wrote it with my wife, Patricia, and Lonnie Meadows at a Cartersville Songwriters Exchange meeting. And it's just a story of a guy riding on the range. You know, just pictured it in my head.
Okay, and I Am a Pilgrim, which we did not write. It
Did
is
not
a
write.
traditional song, and was inspired to us be one of our favorite performers, Graham
Graham
Parsons and Emmylou Harris. I mean, you can't get much better than that. And we performed this song on the stage of the Ernest Tubb Troubadour Theater in Nashville, Tennessee, and that was great.
Broadcast
It was-
live on WSM.
Yeah. That was
Mhm.
wonderful, wasn't it?
That was wonderful.
And Patriot Guard Riders. Okay, I wrote that with T.B. Burton. He contributed some with that, and that is a song because I was contacted by Jim Philhart from the Patriot Guard Riders, which is a large organization. And what they do is they honor our fallen soldiers, our servicemen, men and women, escort them to their final resting places, and they Jim asked me to do kind of like a theme song for him, and it kind of went over really well. In fact, we have our own video. That's
right.
our music video that we have. That was done by Painted Horse Films and Boiler Hat Production, and that was a very exciting thing to make a
was.
music video.
It was indeed. Hard work.
Okay, so that's what we have on our CD.
And it can be yours today from our website.
This is our first CD, our debut.
It's on
we have it.
Amazon.com.
And also from Lemon Press
Leavin
Records.
Press Records, yes.
And we have a second CD, which is also available right now, and it's a soundtrack to a film called Cold Love. Some bluegrass cuts to that one, isn't it? This is all cowboy, but our Cold Love is kind of a bluegrass, would you say?
I would say
Bonnie and Clyde era.
traditional kind of sound.
But all original.
All original. Bye-bye.